All right, welcome to another Living Freestyle Game Dev live stream Q&A AMA. My name's Kevin. We do this twice a week, Sunday nights and Wednesday mornings. And basically the idea is we hang out, hopefully answer any questions that anybody might have about some game dev stuff, especially as it applies to Unreal Engine, which is primarily what we're working in right now. In the absence of any kind of questions, usually what we do is we just hang out and I'm working on my game, which sometimes goes really well and sometimes not so well. Right now, tonight is looking like one of those nights where it might be a little bit painful, but that's all right. I get to do this every day at work, and the things that I work on at work are very cool, but there's a lot of cool things I don't get to do, and so this is a chance for me to stumble through some of those fun things that are also things that I'd love to learn about. I took a quick look through. I didn't see any questions from our previous Q&As, so I think we're just gonna hop straight into working on our game. I'll kind of update you as to where I am and what we got done while you all were away. So with that, let's bring back some music to help us roll through. We'll check our chat, make sure all our levels are good. All right, everything looks good. Okay, so where are we after last time? We were working on some red versus blue stuff, and I've actually taken that to a little bit of the next level. I'm trying to get through just some of the low level debugging of what's going on with some of our AI stuff. And so if we simulate right now, what you'll see is I've got two blues coming in and one red. And the blues are going to attack the red. I've purposely changed the abilities of the red so that all the red does is go and stand in place, right? And that's what he's doing. And when the new red comes in, the blues go after him and hopefully punch him until he dies. Now, there's a couple issues here. I don't know if you noticed, but sometimes the blues are attacking each other. And that is definitely not what we want. And that's currently what I'm stuck trying to figure out what's happening. It shouldn't be happening from everything I'm seeing. And it's actually one of those things that is particularly hard to debug. So why did that blue go to attack the other blue right there? It doesn't make any sense. I have some pretty good guesses as to what is happening, but like right there, why did he turn to shoot the other blue? So that's what we're looking at now. How did we get into this situation? The way we got into this situation is I started looking at how to simplify this tree a lot. And one of the things that I started working on was finding target and finding players. And so what we did is we added the ability for our enemies to find just a target. And then as a result of that, I also, while testing, wanted to see if I could find players as well. Let me see if I can. I have a raging headache tonight, so I'll turn this down just a little bit. Okay. All right, so find target. If we look at the way this works, this is supposed to be just finding the enemies. And the way this works, as I thought I understood it, is it will use this query template to query a list. And then it's going to put the value of the single best item into the target actor key for this blackboard. Seems like exactly what we want. Seems like it should work. So let's go take a look at this find enemies environment query system. And let's take a look at what it does. So it comes in by the root. And what it does is it gets a list of actors that are perceived by the query system. And then theoretically, I thought it would then check the distance to the enemies and also trace on query visibility. So this is where things start getting a little fuzzy, I think. And I think the part that I possibly have not totally wrapped my head around. First off, it's going to look for only enemies here. That seems good. That's kind of what I wanted. And it's using this environment query context querier, which I believe is what we want. Now, there is an enemies query context, and hold on, let me come back to this. So the perception listener to use as source of information. And in this case, it's using the environment querier. The one thing that I thought that this was doing was I thought that it was only looking for enemies excuse me, on the same team, which maybe it's not. Oh. Enemies, here we go. Distance to, and the context. And the context is this enemies EQC. If we look at enemies EQC, this is where I thought we were filtering our list. So in here, what this does is it grabs the controller of the querier, gets their team ID, sets that to a variable, and then it goes through all of the enemies in the scene, and it loops through them all and checks to make sure that their team ID has been set and that it's not equal to the querier team ID, and that the querier team ID is also. And if it doesn't do that, it doesn't add the actor to the actor set, which when we're done, we're going through and printing everything. We can probably take this out because it is absolutely useless so far. Let's just clean this up a lot. So we're going to return a list of actors. All right. Now, theoretically, we could do this by just sensing one actor, but I thought the idea was that it would take this item and then trace to the query on visibility. And so it's checking. Oh, interesting. You know what? Let's turn this off. Let's turn this off for a second. The reason we're doing that is I'm wondering if, rather than this one filtering that one, what's happening is this one's running and this one's running and it's taking both. Let's see here. We go back here and we rerun this simulation. All right. Let's see if the blues ever attack each other now. All right, this is, oh no, he didn't do it. Look at that. Maybe that's what was happening. Right there, he was definitely targeting the other blue. And you can tell because they draw a line to their target. And it usually happens after they kill him. I think it might be better though. Because originally what was happening was if one of them was closer, like if one of the blue enemies was closer than the actual red, it would target that guy. I don't know what this guy's doing right now. Walking around the outside. Interesting. That seems to be a lot better. Okay. Let's pretend that's better. I saw it especially when there were more blues. So let's see what happens if we bring back 4 blues. All right. Now after the red dies, they're still punching, and it's falsely going to look like they're punching each other because they're still punching where the red is. I don't know. I think that looks way better. That just happened to be where the last red was. Okay, I actually think that's better. How do we test this now? I think what we need to do is the distance 2. That's the distance 2 context. Do these not stack? I may need to read a little bit about this and see. But the interesting thing is trace from context, false. Trace purpose, filter only. We're going to go by visibility. And what's Boolean match do? Boolean value to match in order to grant score. Scoring not matching this value will not change score. Interesting. Okay. I think the problem with this is that's distance. I think we do need a trace. And if we trace on visibility and we filter and score, filter only, visibility line, filter, data binding, context. Okay, hold on. So we're going to put this back in. We're going to try a different order this time. I want to see if the blues start attacking each other again. Because what happens is if a blue happens to be closer than the red, I found that the blues would target each other. They're clearly targeting each other. Like they're chasing each other right now. Look at this. That's not helpful. Okay, so if that's that case, then let's try changing this trace to be enemies. Let's try again. See if we get the same behavior. Now they're shooting, all they're doing is fighting each other. What a bunch of jerks. Okay, well, that's great because it makes it easier to debug because they're totally messed up. Okay, so it's going from the querier. Height offset, we're not going to worry about. Boolean matching. Boolean value to match. In order to, I wonder, does this go left to right as well? Composite. Perceived actor. What does this do? Interesting. We need to do some research on how this works. What does a composite node do? Okay. EQS composite UE. EQS node reference generators. Generators are used to produce the location of actors. Actors of class, that's fine. Composite, here we go. When setting up an EQS query, there may be instances where you want to include more than one generator. In a test case, with the composite node, you can add multiple generators to an array which can be used in your tests. What? Generators. Received actors. Oh, interesting. This may be what we need. So if I add another generator and I do received actors again. Nope. Okay, that's not what I want. That just gives me a chance to do interesting. Okay, I don't think that's what I want. Current location, custom generators. Ooh, we can make custom generators? Maybe that's what I want. Oh, let's try that. Let's try that. Let's see what that gets us. Okay, let's do a new blueprint. And let's see what we can do with a generator. Environment, query, generator, blueprint, base. Select. So this is going to be perceived enemy actors. Okay, now let's see what this gives us. What can we do in here? Ooh. Event graph. There's no overrides. Add event. Event. Wait gameplay event. Alright, what I want to do is I want to look at inside your code. There's a function you can do item generator. That's what we want. We want do item generator. Do item. What? Do item generator. Here we go. When you override this function, you get an array of locations that are the context location passed in for the context. Maybe, for example, since functions can only return one value, the do item generator function has two arrays that can pass back to the add generated actor and add generated vector. The add generated actor node will add an actor to the actor returner array. This node can be used with the add generator vector. But can we have variables on this thing? Get querier. Can I get the querier? Get the querier. Interesting. Super crazy. Okay, let's see if we can get this working. Double check to see. We got nobody in the chat. That's cool. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to take myself, and I'm going to cast that to an enemy. And from the enemy, I'm going to get the controller. And I'm going to cast that to an AI controller. And then I'm going to get the team ID. Team ID. And then I'm going to print that. I want to do this. Print string. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to cast that to enemy, to this. And let's just test if this is working. And we're going to print the team ID. And then we're going to go back to our, this is find enemies. Let's do generators. Received enemy actors. This is interesting. Around querier. I don't want it around the querier. Interesting. Let's just do a simple trace on visibility for now. Okay. And see if we even get a print. And we're probably gonna have too many prints to be able to see what's going on. Okay, hold on a second. It looks like it's actually printing, which means we are actually using our perceived enemy actors, but just to make sure, let's print this out as a nice green color. Make sure that is the print we're seeing. Okay, it is printing. Interesting. So the actors themselves, they're doing their thing. You know what's interesting though? They're not actually doing anything. Kind of wild. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we need to set, what was that function called they said we got? Add generated actor. Add generated actor. Okay. Okay, so this is the querier. So let's get all actors of class. And we're going to get all the enemies. And then we're going to go through each one. And then we're going to go through each one. Okay. And what we are going to do, what are we going to do? Everybody, what are we going to do? My brain is so fried. Let's see here. We're going to cast that to, no. We're going to get the AI controller. Get the AI controller. Cast that to enemy AI. Okay, getting there, getting there, getting there. I don't even know if we need to do all these casts. I'm just doing them to be safe right now. To test this out, to eliminate some variables. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take this team ID. And if it's not equal, that means they're on opposite teams. And what we're going to do is we are going to add the generated actor, which is this dude here. get to connect in our condition. All right, so if that works, then we're gonna add the generated actor. And then when we're completed, we're gonna return. We don't need our print. We don't need this. So this should generate a list of actors. And then what should happen is inside of our enemies, we're going to trace to those on visibility. Let's just see. Man, I think it's kind of working. So we'll find out when he dies. If he dies. Oh, he accidentally got killed. That's just his fault for running in front of the dude when he was punching. There we go, he just died. Now do they start fighting each other? Doesn't look like it. This guy who's flashing pink and running around, I think he's almost dead. Man, this might actually be working. I never see them turn on each other like they were before, which is cool. So let's just go and play. All right, now I can see their health bars and stuff. Oh, but you know what? I'm also on the other team. What is going on here? Target actor is none. For enemy AI. Target actor is none. It briefly goes to C0. Oh, okay. So, oh, what a pain in the butt. Yeah, but it should only get enemies. It should not get... This should only return enemies. It should never be putting me on the list. But it clearly is, looks like... Okay, let's try changing this to, rather than visibility, let's go by distance. And in here, okay. Okay, it looks like they're updating properly again. That's cool. All right, now if I hop in, does it get messed up again? Nope. Well, somebody is targeting me that should not be. This dude. No, he's looking at me, but he's not targeting me. Okay, somebody just targeted me. Okay, I think what's might be happening is somewhere, somehow in our logic, there is a function that is looking for a location around the player character. Because these all have... Here, what we can do is we can just stop the red spawner. Let's just go 0. See what happens if I hop in. Do they just walk over to me? Oh, wild. They don't. Oh, they're in a flying V formation in their patrol. Okay. Okay, there's still some semblance of stuff that's working in there. We haven't broken totally everything. Interesting. Because they're doing their form up. Okay, maybe we should try this with guns. What happens with guns? Let's go to 1. And then let's go back to our enemies. Enemy AI. I just want to see what happens with guns. Alright, first, let's sim it. Where'd it go? Oh, there they are. Why don't these two have guns? They should. Everybody should have a gun. Enemy. Enemy 3 does not have a gun. Why doesn't enemy 3 have a gun? He's going in to strategize. Enemy 3. He's still walking around without a gun. Oh, now he's got his gun. Now enemy 1 doesn't have his gun. Enemy 1's dead. Enemy... Oh no, that's enemy 3. He's still walking around without his gun. So he's coming in, and for some reason, he's kicking out. He was coming out here. Interesting. Why does this come down here? We get the AI controller. We get the controlled pawn. That all seems normal. We get the squad leader. We cast that to enemy AI. If that succeeds, then our squad leader is already set. Then we come down here. We get the strategy type. And we do a loadout. Sets the base color. Loadout. All right. And what does loadout do? Sets the boolean as needing loadout as false. Gets the controlled pawn. As long as it's valid, it chooses the equipped weapons. And a skill. Alright. We have a lot of work to do. Even though these dudes have guns, they're not choosing their guns right away. Like, they definitely have guns. Enemy 4. Strategize. Enemy 4. Must have gotten killed. Enemy 4 rank 2. We don't even have an enemy 4. Enemy 4. Choose weapon. He's set to fight melee. So is he stuck in the melee loop? Is that what's going on? He is. So what's happening is actually he's enemy 4 is now in flight mode. Okay, those dudes have their guns. Enemy 1. Why aren't you? Where are you? Yeah, he's stuck down here. Okay. So combination of a lot of things happening. Once we get into this melee fight loop, we never get a chance. I don't think we come back up. Oh yeah, we do. We totally do. Every single time we do. Comes into our strategize task. We choose our weapon. Enemy 16. I believe our numbering is off. Okay, so now we're gonna get our inventory items. Check our ability levels. Ooh. We don't have any item. Enemy 15 doesn't have any items? How's that possible? I was pretty sure with our enemies. Every single enemy should come in here when they spawn and get a gun, a rifle, and a two-handed gun. And then it should fill their empty slots and go on. Oh, I see. The random integer, they only get a 30% chance. If we actually connect to there, everybody should get a gun. Here we go. I see. They were only getting a 30% chance. Now the interesting thing is, why in the heck are they going so close? There we go. Okay. So this is working again. I believe there's a couple of things that we need to fix. I want to know why their move. It actually looks pretty okay, but I'd like to know why their move to locations are so close. It's almost like it's using move to for like, where's it getting the move to location from in here? It's not. Alright, we don't need to choose this. We already know. So when we're in this loop, the ranged loop, it's just going to whatever the move to location that was set. And that move to location was set by I have no idea. We need to find out where it's being set. Strategize. We have a variable, but it's never used. So that's not it. Somebody is updating our move to location, but I don't know how. Otherwise, why is this dude walking over here? This is flight for that guy. That's the red dude. That guy's fleeing. This dude's in here. Alright, that's the dude we're debugging. Alright. Our red AI died. Alright, so once we shoot him, he's dead. So now did it kick over to patrol? Is that what happened? Oh, did that guy just get sent to space? He did. Okay, there we go. It's using enemy spotted. And it's coming in here. Alright. We are definitely lacking some energy tonight, and a huge part of that is I have a raging headache. That's alright. We're still here. And even though it's slow, we are making some progress. Alright, so basically our move to location is being set somewhere in here. And it can't be this, because that would just be random. Look around and set target info. Set target info does what? Oh, that's where it's setting it. Interesting. So theoretically, if I don't do this set target info? Let's see if they're still move. They're not moving. Are they not moving? Dudes, they're moving. Actually, I can't tell. It's hard to tell. Yeah, they're moving. So either we have another place that is setting our move to location. Oh, there is a move. Let's get random attack. I wonder if we just disconnect this whole side, what happens? Let's just disconnect this. Where does this come from? It's coming off this sequence. I just want to see if that's where it's actually happening. Nope, they're still moving towards him. Alright, so that's not where it's happening. There must be something else. Oh man. Alright, update move to last known. This is happening in move to last known. That would do it. That would totally do it. That happens. Do skill. Update status. Where is it? Update. Turn attack. Defend. Update last known from target. Update last known from target. Is this another one that does this? Yes. That's why. But that's not what we actually want. Okay, so this is a problem. Holy cow. Okay, so what's happening is our strategized task. Okay. So originally what would happen is our strategized task would do a bunch of stuff, and then we had this task over here that was update the current attack position task. This update current attack position task works based on ring index and everything like that. So if we do update last known from target, the problem with this is going to cause us to move to where they last were, because we're actually setting the move to location. I don't want to do that. Okay. I don't think we want to do that. This feels better already. Because they're not moving in. Okay, that's good. Now, the problem is they're shooting each other in the back. So we're going to have to figure out which was one of the things that we were trying to get to a long time ago. And that we knew we were going to have to fix was fixing friendly fire. Now, this probably breaks our they used to see us type thing and chase us stuff. So we'll have to re-troubleshoot that. Okay, so let's, but that's way better. Normally that would be worth it, woohoo, but I got a woohoo kind of headache. All right, coming down. We'll reconnect this back in. Update last known from target doesn't do that anymore. That's good. Fixes that. We'll double check it. We'll save it. So this dude right here, enemy 3, he's not shooting at all while he's walking to his position. Both of these two dudes should be shooting instead of walking to their positions. But overall, this feels better. This is cool. All right. Now that we have that, let's go back to our tree. And what's happening is we have these selectors. What we can do is we can we disable this without deleting it? Let's just delete that. So now our red should fight back. You won't last very long, but you should. Didn't even get a second. Nope, he doesn't even get a chance to turn around before he's getting smoked. Alright, let's see if we can give him a fighting chance. Let's get 4 reds in here too. 4 reds versus 4 blues. We're finally back to red versus blue. Interesting, the reds aren't doing anything. I wonder why that is. They're just going to a place and standing there. Do we have... Let's flip this. I want to try something. We're gonna have the blues just go to a spot. Let's see if the reds ever fire. They do. They totally do. Okay. That's interesting. There we go. Now they're shooting back. Now we have a fight. Finally. We got reds versus blues. Okay. Overall, that feels much, much better. I think that's cool. Now if we go back to our enemy AI event graph and we go back to our 30% case, we'll have a better mix, theoretically, of some people with guns, some people without. Oh. I think the lead got shot, and so he's in flight mode. So he's running away. This dude's in berserker mode. I haven't seen a single melee attack. I don't know if it's because they're not getting close enough, or before they're getting their health destroyed, so they go into flight mode, or if, oh, there was one. There was another one. Okay. Okay. Overall, I think we're making progress. I think we're going to wrap this up for tonight. And I'm going to have to try to think about what kinds of things we're going to work on for next time. Overall, I think we finally got back to a little bit of red versus blue, which is cool. Again, overall goal is to make them feel like they're a little more sentient. That seems to be working out a little bit better. I need to do some more tests about red on one side, blue on the other. What happens if I'm in the game as the player? I think there's a lot of work we need to do, especially with melee attacks, for the characters to actually face the character that they're going to try to hit, so that it actually just feels good that they're actually landing their melee attacks, things like that. But overall, they're choosing their weapons or choosing their enemies. It looks like we got the EQS query system working. It looks like we simplified our ability graph. That was a lot of good progress. Again, apologies for the lack of energy. The headache is not helping with that, but we will be back Wednesday morning, ready to go again, and have some update on some fun stuff that we're taking a look at. I hope everybody has a good week, and if you have any questions or things that you'd like us to take a look at for next time, go ahead and throw those in the comment down below, and we will take a look at all of those things. Good night, everybody.